Hi friends, so welcome to the LJ Squad. To my students who have been in here all year long and to my students who are new, I just want to say welcome to what's going to be our new group of friends. So I just want to spend this week kind of going really slow. Some of you are going to be like, oh my goodness, Mrs. Littlejohn, I'm so bored because we're going so slow. And I just want you to know that's just for this week while we're learning how to kind of be people together and function together as a class. So it will pick up after this week, but this week we're just kind of, I want you to understand how I do things. And one of the things that I do is I do things on videos. It just seems to work better. I stop every once in a while and I ask you to unmute yourself and answer. I often have you put the answers into chat, and we usually do, I do, we do, you do. And so usually there's a part that I do and model for you. Then there'll be a part that we do together where I ask you lots of questions, and then there'll be a part that you do on your own. The other thing I'm doing this week is just kind of trying to figure out where you are as mathematicians right now. What did you learn from Mrs. Tanu and Mrs. Grush? How are things going for you? And I just kind of want to get an idea of what's going on with you. Lastly, when we're all done with this page, for today, so we're just going to do these three today, 1, 2, and 3. I want you to take a picture of those equations, just one page, and then turn that into me on Seesaw, just so we can kind of get in the habit of turning things in and having that all ready to go. So we are working on Unit 6, Lesson 7, page 273. And this says new 10 or new 100. And so we're just going to do each of these together, and we'll be talking about if they make a new 10 and a new 100, and we'll be talking about just the way we solve our math equations. The first thing that's important for you to know is that I don't usually work on here because I write really small when I'm working on here. And so I want to make sure that you know you can also work on a piece of notebook paper if you want, if that helps you to stay neater, because this little area is super duper small. And sometimes when you write really small, your numbers get all squished and funky, or you make your pictures and you can't quite see your 10 sticks and your hundreds boxes and all of that stuff. So we're going to be working on here if you want to. I know that I have a lot of students who choose to work on a piece of notebook paper. And if you need a notebook, like a spiral notebook, you can talk to your parents about that, or you can talk to me and I will see if I can find one to send home with you at the next distribution day. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing it says is use any method, make a proof drawing if it helps. Today and tomorrow, I do want you to make a proof drawing. I want to know that you know how to make proof drawings. And proof drawings are using our hundreds boxes, our 10 sticks, and our ones dots. Okay, so we all know that that means 100. We know that a stick means 10, and we know that one of those single dots stands for just 1. Okay, and so we're going to go ahead and do the equation next to a proof drawing. And I'm going to go ahead and get started by copying my equation right here. 236 plus 478. Now, if I write it down on my paper, that means that I want you to write it down too. So you don't have to do this part, but I do need you to show me this here or this here. Before we get going on adding these, we're going to draw a picture. When we are doing addition, we draw both the top number and the bottom number. When we're doing subtraction, we only draw the top number and then we X out the bottom number from it. So let's go ahead and draw this. This one is going to have 2 hundreds. It's going to have 3 tens. And it will have 6 ones. There we go. And the bottom number is going to have 4 hundreds, And I like to put 100 in the middle of each of those boxes. We're gonna have 7 tens, and we'll have 8 ones. I also like to group things in groups of 5s. So you might have noticed that I have 5 on top, 1 on the bottom, 5 tens together, a space, and then the next 2, 5 up top, 3 on the bottom, just so it's really easy for me to see where those groups are. I suggest you do that too. It helps to organize your thinking just a little bit. So give me a thumbs up when you have this drawn. All right, the next thing that we need to do is we need to ask ourselves, are there 10 or more ones here? So I'm gonna look and see if I have 2 groups of 5, and I do have 2 groups of 5. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a big loop around my 2 groups of 5. And I'm gonna X that out because instead of having 2 groups of 5, now I have another 10 there. That's pretty awesome. After I circled that, crossed that out, and made my new 10, I'm gonna go over here and look and see, do I have 10 10 sticks? Because 10 10 sticks, put that together, and that's a hundreds box. So let's see. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I do have a 10 10 sticks. So I have 4 up here and 6 down here. Whew. This is kind of crazy. I'm going to do 2 X's, and then I'm going to draw a new hundreds box over here. Alrighty, so now that I have my new 10 right there and my new 100 right there, I'm going to go ahead and count up this whole thing and see what I end up with. So 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700. Okay, so I have 700, 710, okay, 711, 712, 713, 714. So when I counted that up, I got 714. I should get the same number over there. That's what my proof drawing is doing. It's proving that I have it correct. One thing that I like to do, I don't know if your other teacher did something like this, I like to take my yellow marker and do this. So I can clearly see the ones, the tens, and the hundreds. So if I'm adding 6 plus 8, 6 plus 8 equals 14. So if I were to write 14 down here, that's not going to work because I need to make sure that my new 10 is up here in the tens. So I have 4 ones and a new 10 plus 3 plus 7. So that's actually 10 plus 30 plus 70. So 7 plus 3 plus 1 more equals 11. So we have 11 tens here. But once again, I can't have 11 there, can I? I need to put my 100 up there, leave my other 10 down here, and now I'm going to add up my hundreds. 1 plus 2 plus 4, put that together, and I get 714. And look at that. That equals that, so I know that my answer is 714. Now the question here is, did we make a new 10? Yes, we circled 10 ones and crossed them out, and we made a new 10. So I'm going to write a Y there. Did I make a new 100? Yes, I did make a new 100. Perfect. Okay. So are there any questions on what we did right there? All right, let's move on to number 2. So I do, we do, you do. We do means that I'm going to pause the video a lot and ask you guys to respond to me. the first thing I want to talk about is how crazy Tiger Math makes me when they put their equations like this. This is not how we solve equations best. When I see second graders solve equations like that, they get all weird. And I don't mean the second graders get weird, I mean the equations get weird. So we are going to go ahead and stack those up. 183 plus 517. Make sure and put my plus there. Okay, so now that we have it stacked up, what's the first thing we're going to do to solve this part of the equation? Yes, we are going to draw a picture. So are we going to draw just the top picture, just the bottom picture, or both? Yeah, we need to draw both because this is adding. We're putting it together. So we're going to go ahead and draw 183 up here and 517. Now this next part, I'm not going to pause the video. I'm just going to count to 10 quietly in my head while I'm recording this, and you need to unmute yourself and just say it one time. You don't need to say it over and over. Just unmute yourself and quickly give the answer while other people are giving the answer, and I will hear it, and then we'll keep on moving forward. So are you ready? So you're just going to unmute yourself, say it quickly one time. How many hundreds should I draw for 183? Thank you. We're going to draw 100. How many tens are we going to draw for 183? Thank you. We're going to draw 8 tens. How many ones dots am I going to draw for 183? Thank you. We're going to draw 3. Good job. And once I start drawing or I give the answer, that's your time to make sure that you're still quiet and that you've muted yourself again. We're going to do the same thing as we draw 517. You guys are already really good at this. All right, how many hundreds boxes will I draw for 517? Thank you. We're going to draw 5 100s boxes. That's so many hundreds boxes, you guys. But I know I can do it. All right. How many 10 sticks will I draw for 517? Thank you. Yeah, just 1. And lastly, how many ones will I draw for 517? Nice work, friends. Okay, last time we did this up here, I started circling and crossing things out. I think I was making new tens and new hundreds. What should we do next? Yes, we are looking for new tens first. So I'm going to ask you now, do we have enough dots to make a new 10 stick? Yes, we do. Oh, I drew 8, not 7. Sorry about that. I had a little brain bubble there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and circle 10 dots. Oops, I forgot to do it with a different colored marker. Crikey, you guys. I made a mistake. I like to do it in a different color just so it's really obvious to you. when you look at it. Alrighty. So now we're gonna take a peek at the, oh, I started telling you. Ah, I can't believe I did that, you guys. So what are we gonna do for this next part? I gave you a pretty big hint. Yeah, we're gonna look at this and see if we have 10 10 sticks to make a new 100. Do we have 10 10 sticks there? Yeah, we totally do, don't we? So I'm gonna go ahead and circle that. All 10 of those 10 sticks, cross them out, and here we are with our new 100. Am I done? Then what do I need to do? Yeah, I need to count these up. Okay, so you go ahead and count them up and type the answer in the chat. Don't shout it out because that's going to tell everybody the answer. You're just going to type it in the chat. This one was pretty straightforward, wasn't it? So we have 700s there, so that means that that equals 700. Okay. Whew, I'm done, right? Wrong. We need to add these up right here. So we're going to start over at the ones, and we're going to add that first. So what is 7 plus 3? Go ahead and unmute yourself and tell me. Yeah, 7 plus 3 is 10. So I just put 10 down there, right? Thank you. No, we do not put 10 down there. We're going to put our 0 down there like we talked about last time. And we're going to put our new 10 right there. Now, what do we do? Thank you. We're going to add up the 10s. So go ahead and unmute yourself and tell me what is 8 10s plus 1 10 plus another 10. Yes, we have another 10, and like we talked about before, you'll put your 0 down here and that 100 right there. Now we have 5 plus 1 plus 1, or 500 plus 100 plus 100, and that equals, unmute yourself and say it, everybody. Yes, 700. And so those equal each other. That means I think we solved the problem. I think we solved the problem. I think we solved the problem because we are so smart. Ha! Yeah, we did it, you guys. We got it. All right. So, any questions about that one? Alrighty, so number 3 says 93 plus 485. They wrote it horizontal. Ah, no, not horizontal. We like it vertical. Oh, what are they thinking? All right, so I'm going to start you off by just making sure to stack it up and writing 485 plus 93. And you know what I just realized I did, everyone? We forgot to write if we made a new 10 and new hundreds there. And the answer for this one, did we make a new 10? Totes. Did we make a new 100? Yes, we did. So we did it both places then too. All right, so when you do that on here, don't forget that because, oh my gosh, how embarrassing for me that I forgot to do that. So if you are not doing this on a separate piece of paper, what you need to do is make sure that you write 93 under that. If you do not stack them up, it's going to come right back to you. I'm going to send it back to you and say, you need to stack it up, please. The expectation is that we're always going to be stacking those up. They will never be horizontal. They will always be vertical. Okay? All right. When you're finished with these 3 equations, remember, you're not doing these ones. You're not doing these ones. You're just doing number 1, 2, and 3. Snap a picture, turn it into Seesaw, and I will let you know right away if you need to fix something or if you have it all correct. This was a success, my friends. This bodes well for our future. Yes, thank you. All right, see you tomorrow.